there, everyone. It's David from Collect All Monsters here with my friend, fellow Seattleite, and collector, Corey Cromer. How's it going, Corey?
Going good. Thanks for having me over.
Oh, it's my pleasure. This is the second one of our new series that I'm going to call Get to Know Your Fellow Collector. And I hope to do a great many of these so we can all kind of know where, how we all got into this crazy world of toy collecting and just, kind of know our fellow collectors. So why don't we jump right in, Corey, and talk a little bit about how you got started on your collecting journey.
From seeing Pacific Rim, when that movie came out, I really started to think about, well, what other kaiju movies are there? And I had seen Mothra before when I was a kid. That was the first Japanese kaiju movie that I saw. And so I just started to really get into Japanese films and sci-fi films and tokusatsu films, and started to get all the DVDs and actually on VHS. I also collect VHS, so
that's pretty cool.
And then, of course, from there you start to think, well, there's got to be toys of this stuff, right? So,
oh yeah. Well, nowadays, but not when I was a kid. When I was first introduced to them, there were no toys of this stuff, or so few that. But we can talk about that a little bit later. What was your very first Godzilla movie after you started to enjoy movies like Pacific Rim?
So I remember seeing Mothra.
Okay.
In the 80s.
Okay.
And I think
the original 1961 Mothra.
Yeah, the 61 Mothra.
Excellent.
And I think after that was the 54 Godzilla.
Oh, wow. So your first was the first.
Yeah.
That's a great way to start.
Yeah.
My first movie was Monster Zero. And
wow.
Unlike you, I saw it when I was in elementary school. And my dad circled it in the TV guide, and he thought I would dig it because I liked dinosaurs back then. So that was my gateway.
That is my favorite Godzilla movie.
Yeah, there's a few.
I love that movie.
It's just it's during the golden era of Toho tokusatsu films, and everything comes together.
Yeah.
The cast, the score,
Nick Adams.
The music. Nick Adams. I know one of my fellow co-hosts, Kyle Yount, that's his all-time favorite too. Kaiju Daisenso.
Yes.
So anyway, sorry, let's talk more about your movies. So then you started to get the VHS movies?
On DVD and VHS where I could find them. So I had found that in 1998, Scimitar did that 5-tape.
That's
set,
right. I remember.
Which is just total garbage. I don't know if anybody has it, but I found it at a video store for like $8.
Okay.
And so I watched those, and then that kind of just launched the whole kaiju collecting, kaiju film. I immediately went out and got all the movies on DVD that I could get.
That's so cool.
And Blu-ray, because this is, I haven't been in this for terribly long. This is 2015, so it's only 5 years now. But
wow, that's a contrast. I mean, for me, we couldn't even record them on television. I mean, actually, that's not true. I used to record the movies with my dad's tape recorder.
Yeah.
And just listen to them, just listen to the audio, which
wow.
is really showing my age here. Mm-hmm. But back in the day, there was nothing. I mean, I wish there was, toys available. I mean, the only toy that was available back then, it was the Aurora Glow styrene Godzilla kit.
Yeah.
And then later on came the Shogun Warrior Mattel figure, but that's pretty much it. And then the 80s, we saw a smattering of things. It was really 1984 with the release of Return of Godzilla / Godzilla 1985 in the United States, where we started to see Bandai start producing Godzilla figures and other Toho monster figures.
Yeah.
So cool.
And so from just sort of going online and finding out toy collector groups and on Facebook and Instagram and things like that. Ultimately, that led me to X Plus.
Yes.
Which is primarily what I collect.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to see your collection. You have a pretty pretty, substantial collection of X Plus figures.
Thank you.
Actually, really, really great variety of things. But let's go back a little bit and talk about your very first Godzilla collectible that you purchased. I think it's right in front of you there.
This guy right here, which is a bear. It's a Marmot copy of a bear model 54 Godzilla with the little train. And then you have the original here.
Yes.
Which we were comparing and talking about earlier.
And what's great about that little figure is it's sort of like almost not the 54 that we see all the time. It's actually kind of based on the maquette design in some ways. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And it's a very underrated figure, and
it's just got a really classic. I really like the retro classic. It's not super detailed, but you can definitely tell what it's supposed to be. I kind of like that.
Yep, it's stylized just enough that it's not too crazy, but that's awesome. That's really cool. That's really cool. What are some of your favorite pieces?
Well, it rotates.
Okay, yeah, it does indeed rotate.
It's
for
hard.
Me too.
It's you always love the one that you just got. But right now, so I was telling you earlier, I moved a bunch of my pieces out into my TV room, and one of those was the gigantic 89.
Nice.
So that I can look at that every day.
It's definitely worth looking at every day, in my opinion.
Just beautiful. I love that figure. And the Godzilla 99 set with the 99 Godzilla with the boat.
Yes, the G2K Godzilla with the boat. Yeah, so that's the Rick version. I actually got the standard with the closed mouth, but the boat is pretty cool. That's a pretty cool little extra add-on for that figure. So yeah, that's cool. So that's also in your TV room?
In the TV room.
Nice.
And of course, a few special Sakai pieces, the 54 Sakai. And actually the 95, which I didn't really... so I got the standard 95 with the really bright paint on it, and when I opened the box, I was sort of turned off by it. It was just really it kind of hits you like, wow, that's really bright orange paint. And so I left it in the box for like a week, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to keep it. And of course, I'm never going to get rid of anything. So the following weekend, I pulled it out of the box and spent some time with it, and now it's one of my favorites.
Isn't that funny how things grow on you from time to time?
Yeah, it's funny. So
I remember you telling me that you weren't sure whether you were going to keep it. Yes. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, this figure's pretty cool. Yeah. I've done that with a bunch of figures. Like, for example, the 89, which, most people like from the start, but the jury was a little bit out because some angles it's not perfect. But, I took it outside and photographed it in all different types of lighting and backgrounds, and there's some angles where it looks like it steps right out of the movie.
Right. Yep.
And I think the proportions are pretty much on point for that figure too.
Yeah.
And things do sort of, evolve and grow on you. And, in my world, if they don't evolve and grow on me, I just kind of sell them. It's pretty easy to pass these figures along these days, because there's always somebody who is actually looking for that figure. Right. So,
see, I'm not to that point yet. I have a really hard time letting any of them go.
It's tough. Well, that's because you're a little bit more discerning initially. Like for me, my philosophy, I used to buy everything that came out and then, evaluate it and then sell it. But now I'm trying, it's not always successful, to adopt the philosophy of one in, one out.
Right.
And I've sold a few soft vinyl things lately, but as far as X Plus goes, I think I'm pretty much really in love with everything I have.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to let go of pieces at this point. But so speaking of toys and models and things, actually tonight it's going to be, which will be tomorrow in Japan, is the first day of Wonderfest.
Oh yeah.
So what things are you looking to see or hoping to see? It'll be kind of fun to speculate because we'll know tomorrow actually what's coming out.
Yeah. So I'd like to see more of the Edis.
Oh, cool.
Iris,
yeah. Edis, I think is the correct pronunciation.
I really want to see. I'm a little concerned about how that's going to ship with those very thin tendrils.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah, so I have a feeling it's going to be a sort of a put together situation, maybe where they come in different pieces and you got to put it together. But we'll see. But I'm interested to see how that looks and if they have a more finalized piece. I'm sure we'll see the gigantic Mechagodzilla again.
You think we'll see a painted version?
Well, didn't they show a painted version in the glass case?
Yeah, but it wasn't really clear. I'm like, it's sort of like one,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, like really good specific photos of the painted figure.
Yeah, I hope so.
I'm pretty sure we'll see that, but you never know. X Plus surprises us from time to time.
Yeah.
And
and as far as what I'd like to see, you know, they did a Barugon, so give us a 66 camera, a 30 centimeter.
Yep.
66 camera would be awesome.
Yeah, what scale? 30 centimeters?
30 centimeter, yeah, to go
yeah.
with the Barugon that came out about 6-7 months ago.
Would you like a crawling or a standing, or like they did with the 25 where you can choose?
I would prefer a standing myself.
Standing, okay. Yeah.
To go with that, I think it would look cool with the crawling Baragon. Also, it would take up less space on the shelf.
Oh my God, you're so right. Like I have this 25 centimeters, and I chose to put the Gamera in the crawling position because that's kind of a unique thing. You don't really see too many crawling 66 Gameras, but you're right about the smaller footprint is actually a better idea. Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. That would be great.
Yeah.
I would like to see, let's see, I had it in my mind and I lost it. I would love to see a maquette design Godzilla released by X Plus.
Yeah.
I just love that sort of, you know, dragon-like clay sculpture,
right?
You know, Godzilla. But from what I understand, it's pretty difficult to get a license to produce a Godzilla that has never appeared on screen.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's why the Knots figure, as you remember last year, the Knots storyboard figure had like a 1-day license or something ridiculous like that. And, you know, those figures go for like ridiculous amount of money these days.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky to have snagged one at least. I have the solid red one. But yeah, that's what I would absolutely love to see. Realistically, I'd like to see an announcement for a gigantic 65 Godzilla.
Oh yeah,
the Kaiju Daisenso Godzilla. That would be really cool. And then maybe a Rodan. And I don't think they could do a Ghidorah in that scale. That would be just massive.
No,
there's no way.
No.
There's no way. A gigantic King Ghidorah would be no.
Yeah.
And the money and the space, it would just be out of control. But it would be great.
I'm sure we'll see more of the Defoe series. That's kind of like their almost like a flagship of the X Plus lines right now. They're really going all in on those. And I've most of them, and they're all really well done. I've been pretty impressed with what they've been able to do with those.
I agree. It's a fun little line because, you know, it's the price point is pretty affordable. And as we've been talking about it, they don't take much room on your shelves.
Yeah.
And they're definitely fun little creatures. It'd be nice if we see every single Godzilla represented at some point.
I imagine they'd be doing that. I mean, those things sell so well. I would be surprised if they didn't just keep on with that trend.
Now, I'm surprised that you didn't say you want to see some Johnny Sacco giant robot figures, because I know you're a fan of that stuff.
I am. I do. I love some Johnny Sacco. That would be terrific. I do have there's a ABS and die-cast giant robo that's coming out in May.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
The manufacturer escapes me right now, but I do have that on pre-order, so I'm pretty excited to get that.
Well, that was my next question. What things are coming your way?
So right now I have Ultraman Ace on the way from Japan.
Gigantic?
Gigantic.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And I'm pretty excited about that. I got the light up one with the color timer.
Nice.
And you've seen how I have my gigantic. So I have all the gigantic Ultramen lined up in my TV room on a shelf, and they take up more than the shelf space. So I don't know how I'm going to fit Ultraman Ace in there, but we might be buying some more shelves.
Or you may have to switch some stuff out, because I know you also have the glow version of the original Ultraman Type C.
I do, yeah.
So maybe you can move him aside and just have the non-glows on there
I
for a
might.
moment, or you can just move it right into my collection. I mean, I'd be very happy to oblige.
I'll let you borrow it.
Okay. Well, that, hey, I'll take partial custody. But no, that's cool. That's all. That's really neat.
Oh, the 2019 Art Spirits, which I'm pretty excited about. So I passed on the gigantic 2019, and it's a beautiful, beautiful figure.
It really
I haven't
is.
seen it in person, but I've seen hundreds of pictures of it, and it's gorgeous. I just didn't have the space, didn't have the money,
Definitely
so,
a shelf hog. I think it's the number one shelf hog.
Yeah, it's a big fella. So what I did do is I got the Art Spirits one that's supposed to come out at the end of March, I think, and so I'm pretty excited to see how that.
What scale is that in, Corey?
It's I think it's a 20 centimeter.
Okay.
So they're not really big.
Okay.
So I have the G2K that they did a few years ago, and then I also have the Shin
Nice.
Godzilla. That's really nice.
Excellent.
So I have that on the way. And I think as far as pre-orders go, the 84 Sakai.
Oh yeah. That's I've got that one too, and I'm just really kind of sad that the standard got pushed back a month or so because some of our fellow collectors. I don't know if you're getting the Rick. The Rick is coming supposedly this month at some point.
I'm getting the standard.
Yeah. So March.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
So,
Me too.
I'm really, really looking forward to that though.
Yeah, it's definitely going to fill a hole in the collection because the other 84 is fine, but this one looks like it's going to be.
It looks beautiful, yeah.
My prediction, figure of the year, 2020.
Probably, yeah.
I'm thinking it might be.
Yeah. Or maybe that gigantic Mechagodzilla.
You know what? If it comes out this year.
Yeah,
I mean, it may we may see a picture. We're not sure when the release date will be, but yeah, I think the popularity of that one's going to be just through the roof. And I am definitely on the fence about whether to pick it up or not because if you look around this room, there really is no room to put another gigantic anywhere unless one of these goes.
Yeah.
So let's talk briefly about maybe some advice you would have to a new collector or anything that might help them out in the beginning of their collecting journey.
Well, I know Steve said this on the last one of these you did, but
yes,
I will say it too. Go to Japan. That's my number one piece of advice. If you're really serious about this stuff, about these types of movies and collecting toys, and you got to go to Japan. I was fortunate to get to go in November. I was there for about 2 weeks. And it was the most amazing trip that I've ever had.
And you were there for Godzilla's birthday.
I was there for Godzilla's birthday, yep. And I bought a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not going to list all of it, but they're all special because I bought them in Japan. But really, that's the thing. That's what I think every collector should do: is go to Tokyo, go to Osaka, and experience toy collecting from where it comes from.
I think that is the most excellent advice, and I agree 100% with that sentiment. Having been lucky enough to visit Japan several times, I just can't get enough of it. And the thing of it is, one of the reasons that a lot of us are friends outside of the collecting is we all have a love for the Japanese culture as well.
Yeah.
And it just becomes more than just the toys. It's about their whole sensibility and the way things are over there. And I think that is the most incredible advice, and I endorse it 100%.
If you get a chance to go to Toho Studio, everybody knows you can't go in, but you can go there and you can see it from the outside. And if you really love these movies and tokusatsu, it'll bring a tear to your eye. It is amazing just to see it, just to go there and walk through the neighborhood and just to see where this stuff was made, where it comes from. It's probably the highlight of our trip.
You are absolutely right. I was lucky enough to go there for my first time with Kyle on his amazing Hail to the King video project.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he didn't even tell me we were going there until we were actually on our way. And he wanted to do a little mini interview with me because I was the project's photographer, and he chose to do the interview right underneath the Godzilla mural at Toho Studios.
Oh, wow.
And
Awesome.
Talk about bringing a tear to my eye. I mean, I really couldn't tell whether it was a tear or sweat because it was August in Tokyo, and it was really, really hot.
Yeah.
And the cicadas
one
were...
piece of advice,
go ahead.
Go in November. That's when I went, and I know that's when you've gone.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been in the summertime, but November, the weather was absolutely gorgeous every day.
Again, I agree 100%. I've been twice in November, once in February. Actually, at this time last year, I was in Japan, which makes me a little sad. But we definitely sweated our what's off in August. It's really, really hot. It's one of the hottest I've ever felt in my entire life.
Yeah.
So
us Northwesterners don't do well.
We certainly do not. And Kyle and I both being from the Northwest, it was a little bit challenging. But yeah, so that visiting Toho Studios, visiting Japan is absolutely a must for anybody who's really into this stuff.
Yeah.
And you referenced it, and Steve referenced it, and I've referenced it. The things that you pick up there, that you buy in a shop, you see it in the shop and you bring it home, you hand carry it home, or things that someone brings you back from Japan or gives you a gift. Those are the things that really mean the most to me in my collection these days.
Right. Yeah.
And some things that I will never sell, ever.
Not. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me and having our viewers get to know yet another of their fellow collectors.
I'm happy to do it. I appreciate it. Anytime I get to come and see this room, it really makes my day.
Oh, I'm so glad. Anyway, this is David signing out from Collect All Monsters, and thanks for watching. And as usual, I speak for my co-hosts, Kyle, John, Christine, and Leslie Chambers. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.